Welcome to the Lost Log, where we explore the weird, dark, and mysterious stories of history. What if I told you a man vanished from the face of the earth just for threatening to expose a secret? This is not a movie plot. This is a real story, and it's just the beginning. For centuries, one organization has been at the center of power, controversy, and mystery. The Freemasons. They've been accused of everything from controlling governments, hiding ancient secrets. Their rituals are shrouded in oaths so extreme they sound like something out of a horror story. But what's real and what's just a conspiracy? Today, we dive headfirst into the shadows and try to expose some of the darkest truths about Freemasons you probably didn't know. We'll break down 5 of the most haunting Freemason mysteries. Imagine this. The year is 1826. A man named William Morgan is about to take a risk few have ever dared to take. He is a former Freemason, but he plans to publish a book exposing their secret rituals, their passwords, their oaths, everything. People were buzzing, waiting to learn what happened behind closed doors, but he never got the chance. He was arrested on a trumped-up petty theft just before publication. A convenient excuse, some would say. When he was finally released, a group of men were waiting. They seized him and drove into the dark. He was never seen again, he just vanished. The public was horrified. The immediate suspects, the Freemasons. It seemed too perfect to be coincidence. Some said he was bribed. Some said he fled to Canada under a new name. Some said he was silenced. In fact, William Morgan was kidnapped to Fort Niagara by local Masons. A grim trial, guilty of treason against the Brotherhood. They executed him and cast his weighted body into the Niagara River, so the legend says. A year later, a decomposed body washed ashore, unidentifiable. The disappearance became a national sensation, birthing the anti-Masonic Party. To this day, the case remains unsolved and haunting. For Catholics, joining Freemasonry has long been condemned by the Church. In 1738, Pope Clement XII issued In Eminenti, forbidding Catholics from joining under penalty of excommunication. Successive popes reinforced the ban for centuries, as the Masons believed that any belief in a god was sufficient, therefore rejecting Catholicism's core belief of a one true God, conflicting with the secrecy and solemn oaths made in darkness. Religious indifferentism, uniting under a great architect, seen as watering down the faith. Naturalism, reason without revelation. Hopes for change faded when, in 1983, the Doctrinal Office declared Masonry irreconcilable with Catholic doctrine. Catholics who join are considered to be in grave sin and may not receive communion. A soul at stake, the Church's stance remains a stark condemnation, a spiritual Cold War, papal bulls versus secret oaths to many deities. The line is drawn. For a devout Catholic, the choice is clear. You cannot serve both. Centuries later, the condemnation still echoes. In Italy, P2, a clandestine Italian Masonic lodge operating as a secret government, turned suspicion into a scandal. A rogue lodge led by Licio Gelli operated in the shadows. In 1981, police raided Gelli's villa and found a list of nearly 1,000 secret members, cabinet ministers, MPs, intelligence chiefs, top generals, journalists, bankers, power clustered in secrecy. A state within a state, sworn to Gelli. A blueprint to steer politics, fight communism, and consolidate power. The fallout, financial crimes, a government collapse. Banker Roberto Calvi was found hanging under Blackfriars Bridge, laden with symbolic overtones. Allegations of judicial manipulation and orchestrated media campaigns followed. The Grand Orient expelled Gelli and revoked P2's charter, calling it a perversion. But the stain remained, proof that structure can be abused. Masons say politics is forbidden in regular lodges. Still, secrecy plus influence breeds suspicion. P2 crossed the line once, enough to haunt the fraternity. As the Nazis rose, they targeted Freemasons as part of a vast, imagined conspiracy. Nazi propaganda linked Masons with a supposed worldwide Jewish plot. Exhibitions toured Germany, displaying seized regalia. Books, posters, and films hammered the claim. On August 8, 1935, Hitler dissolved all lodges. The Gestapo raided these lodges, cataloging members and confiscating libraries. Buildings were taken over, symbols inverted. Being a Mason became a crime. Names went on blacklists. In camps, many Masons wore the inverted red triangle of political prisoners. Exact deaths are unknown. Estimates reach into the tens of thousands across occupied Europe. Persecution spread wherever the Reich advanced. For a time, continental Freemasonry neared extinction. Secrecy was twisted into a weapon against them. The red triangle endures as a tragic symbol of this dark chapter. Say the words, secret society. Most imagine the initiation, the terrifying oath. Historical exposés describe extreme symbolic penalties for any Mason who dares dishonor their oath of loyalty. Entered, apprentice, a throat cut across, tongue torn out, body buried in the rough sands of the sea, fellowcraft, left breast torn open, heart plucked out to beasts and birds, master mason, body severed in two, bowels burned to ashes, scattered to the four winds. Freemasons insist these were always symbolic, dramatic metaphors for fidelity. Many jurisdictions have removed the graphic language. They claim symbolic theater to teach loyalty, not literal contracts for violence. Yet to outsiders, such words fueled fear and suspicion for centuries. If the secrets are harmless, why bind with terrifying language? The vacuum of secrecy filled with the public's worst fears of evil. The paradox at the heart of Masonry. From a man who vanished into thin air to a pope's condemnation, political scandals that toppled governments, and horrific persecution fueled by conspiracy theories, blood-chilling oaths that bind and divide. Between fraternity and cabal, the line grows thin. So, what do you think? Benevolent brotherhood or darker truth? Tell me in the comments and subscribe for more. The search never ends.